When a narcissist suddenly comes and hugs you, that's what it means. Imagine this. Someone who is typically distant, emotionally manipulative, or self-absorbed suddenly comes up to you and hugs you. Not just any hug, but a sudden, deliberate one that catches you off guard. It feels warm, maybe even comforting, but deep inside, you sense something is off. You're left questioning their motives, wondering what this seemingly kind gesture could mean. Is it genuine? Is it manipulation? And most importantly, what does it reveal about the person behind the hug? If you've ever been in such a situation with a narcissist, you've probably grappled with these questions. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind this surprising behavior. Why do narcissists engage in such uncharacteristic acts of affection? What are they really trying to achieve? By the end of this article, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of the hidden dynamics at play, so stay with me until the very last word. This is a conversation you don't want to miss. Before we jump in, let's take a moment to connect. If you're finding this topic intriguing and want to keep exploring the complexities of human relationships, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our platform. Your engagement helps us bring you more valuable insights. Share this article with someone who might need it. It could be a game changer for them. And as we unravel this intriguing topic, feel free to leave your thoughts or personal experiences in the comments. Let's build a community of understanding and support. When a narcissist hugs you, it's not just a spontaneous or affectionate gesture. It's a deliberate act laden with meaning and often designed to serve a hidden agenda. To truly grasp the implications, we need to explore the characteristics that define narcissistic individuals. Narcissists are often marked by an inflated sense of self-importance, an overwhelming need for admiration, and a conspicuous lack of genuine empathy. They view relationships as strategic engagements rather than emotional connections. This means their actions, no matter how warm or loving they may appear, are frequently calculated to fulfill their own needs. A hug from a narcissist, therefore, is rarely just a hug, it's a signal, a tactic, or even a power play. One of the most prominent reasons a narcissist might hug you is to reassert their control. Control is central to the narcissistic psyche. These individuals thrive on orchestrating the dynamics of their relationships, ensuring they remain in a position of dominance. When they perceive even the slightest shift in their control, perhaps you've started asserting boundaries, expressing independence, or emotionally distancing yourself, they may resort to physical gestures like a hug to re-establish their influence. A hug is a particularly effective tool for this purpose because it's disarming. Unlike verbal communication, which can be questioned or challenged, a hug bypasses rational thought and appeals directly to emotions. When a narcissist suddenly embraces you, it can stir a mix of confusion, nostalgia, or even hope, depending on the history of your relationship. For someone who has endured their manipulative tendencies, this act might momentarily soften your defenses, leading you to question their motives less critically. You may find yourself thinking, perhaps they really do care. This moment of doubt or vulnerability is precisely what the narcissist seeks, as it allows them to subtly regain the upper hand without confronting the core issues in the relationship. The hug also serves as a kind of reset button in the relationship. If tension has been building, whether through conflict, your assertion of independence, or even your emotional withdrawal, the hug interrupts the current trajectory and shifts the focus. It's an unspoken message that says, let's forget all that just happened. Look, I'm being affectionate now. This maneuver can be highly effective because it exploits the human tendency to crave connection and reconciliation, especially with someone who holds a significant place in our lives. By hugging you, the narcissist reestablishes emotional proximity, effectively drawing you back into their sphere of influence. Additionally, the physical nature of a hug allows the narcissist to reassert dominance in a subtler, nonverbal way. Hugs involve invading personal space, and when initiated by a narcissist, they carry an implicit assertion of control over your emotional and physical boundaries. It's not just about the act of hugging, it's about them deciding when and how it happens, ensuring that they dictate the terms of the interaction. This can be particularly disconcerting for those on the receiving end, as the hug may leave them feeling emotionally unsettled or even coerced into reciprocating the affection. A narcissist's hug is rarely a standalone gesture. It's part of a broader strategy to maintain their dominance, reset emotional dynamics, or manipulate your perception of their intentions. Understanding this underlying context can help you approach these moments with clarity, recognizing them for what they are, a calculated move rather than a genuine display of warmth or connection. By staying attuned to these nuances, you can better protect your emotional boundaries and navigate the complexities of dealing with a narcissistic individual. Let's consider another scenario. Imagine you're in a group setting, and a narcissist unexpectedly hugs you in front of others. On the surface, it might seem like a gesture of genuine affection. But in reality, it's likely a performance. Narcissists are highly conscious of how others perceive them. A public display of warmth can serve to reinforce their desired image, whether that's as a caring parent, a loving partner, or a generous friend. The hug becomes less about you and more about bolstering their reputation. But what happens when the hug takes place in private? Here, the meaning might shift. In these moments, the hug can be a test of boundaries. Narcissists are known for pushing limits, often in subtle ways that are hard to call out. A sudden hug might be their way of gauging your response. Do you pull away? Do you reciprocate? Your reaction provides them with valuable information about how much control they still have over you. There's also the possibility that the hug is a form of masking. Deep down, narcissists often grapple with feelings of insecurity and vulnerability. However, their inflated sense of self prevents them from confronting or expressing these emotions openly. Instead, they use gestures like hugs to mask their inner turmoil. It's a way to seek reassurance without appearing weak. To the untrained eye, this hug might seem like a rare glimpse of vulnerability. But to someone who understands narcissistic behavior, it's clear that the gesture is more about self-preservation than connection. Another layer to consider is the concept of a silent apology. Narcissists rarely apologize outright because admitting fault goes against their carefully constructed image of perfection. Instead, they might use non-verbal gestures like hugs to communicate what words cannot. While this might seem like a step toward reconciliation, it's important to approach such gestures with caution. Without an accompanying acknowledgement of wrongdoing, the hug is likely a superficial fix rather than a genuine attempt to mend the relationship. Now, let's explore how this plays out in different types of relationships. In romantic partnerships, a narcissist's hug might be used to regain emotional control during a conflict. If you're upset or beginning to assert your independence, they might embrace you as a way to diffuse tension and re-establish their influence. In familial relationships, the dynamic can be even more complex. A narcissistic parent, for example, might hug their child to create a moment of emotional confusion, especially if the relationship is marked by criticism or neglect. The hug serves to temporarily blur the lines between affection and control, keeping the child emotionally tethered. In friendships, a narcissist's hug might come across as an attempt to mend a rift or strengthen the bond. But again, the underlying motivation often centers on their needs rather than yours. Perhaps they feel threatened by your growing independence or sense that you're drifting away. The hug becomes a tool to reel you back in, ensuring that you remain within their sphere of influence. Understanding these dynamics is crucial because it empowers you to see through the facade. When you recognize that a narcissist's actions are often driven by self-interest, you're less likely to be swayed by their gestures. Instead, you can approach the situation with clarity and maintain your emotional boundaries. If you've ever experienced this firsthand, you might be reflecting on those moments right now. Think about the context in which the hug occurred. What was happening before and after? Did the hug come after a disagreement? Was it in front of others? By analyzing these details, you can gain a deeper understanding of the narcissist's intentions and respond accordingly. So, what should you do when faced with a sudden hug from a narcissist? The key is to remain grounded and true to yourself. You're not obligated to reciprocate their gesture, especially if you sense manipulation at play. Instead, focus on maintaining your emotional boundaries. If the hug feels disingenuous or calculated, it's okay to take a step back, both physically and emotionally. Remember, your well-being comes first. As we near the end of this discussion, it's important to reiterate that not every act of affection from a narcissist is inherently malicious. However, understanding the underlying dynamics can help you navigate these situations with greater awareness. By recognizing the patterns of narcissistic behavior, you're better equipped to protect yourself from emotional manipulation and maintain healthy relationships. Thank you for staying with me through this deep dive into the complexities of narcissistic behavior. If this article has resonated with you, don't hesitate to share it with someone who might find it helpful. Together, we can spread awareness and empower others to navigate challenging relationships. Your support, through likes, shares, and comments, helps us continue to bring you valuable insights. Remember, understanding is the first step toward empowerment. Take care of yourself, and until next time, stay grounded, stay aware, and never settle for less than you deserve. Thank you for watching.